everyone. My name is Marley and I am in Miami with Ross Chris. He is going to tell us more about CATS Academy Boston. So he is the director of international recruitment.
Yep, that's right.
For,
Director of student recruitment.
Student recruitment for CATS.
Yep.
So Ross, thank you for joining us. And,
No problem.
would you tell us what are, give us an introduction about CATS and why should students choose CATS over other boarding schools? What are the advantages?
Okay, all right. So CATS Academy Boston is a international boarding school based just south of Boston in a suburb called Braintree. We have this quite large, beautiful campus. We have the dormitories, on site on the campus. So, students are waking up in the morning and they can go straight into class. They don't have to get a bus anywhere, which is an advantage in its own right. The facilities now at the school, it was completely renovated and rebuilt in 2016. So the facilities are very beautiful, very modern. We have things like fashion studios. We have an innovation lab with Mac computers and 3D printers. We have a yoga and dance studio, a black box theatre, a business lab. So we have all of these great facilities for the students. So for me though, the most important difference for CATS Academy is because we're international, it means that we provide a very different experience to the students. So everybody who arrives at CATS Boston is in the same position. They're all away from home. They all have to make new friends. So our student community is very close. And of course, the common language, between a student from the Philippines and maybe a student from Mexico is, they have to speak English to each other, just like if they went to a traditional boarding school, they would speak English, to the American students. So,
what is the difference of a boarding school from a traditional high school? Because this concept might not be familiar for everyone internationally.
Sure.
So could you just go through some brief?
Sure. So it's pretty simple really. You have what you would kind of call a day school, where the students are literally coming from home or homestay or maybe a dormitory off of the campus. They're coming into the school, they do their lessons, and then at the end of the day they're going home. And then of course our boarding school is that you're living generally on the campus, so the dormitories will be within very close proximity to the school, and I think the main difference is maybe in a boarding school the school community is closer, like I said, and also there's more kind of interaction between the teachers and the staff, because after school the teachers and the staff will be running clubs and activities right the way into the evening in the dormitories. And so the boarding experience, I think, is more immersive. The students are kind of more integrated deeply into the school system. But I mean, very basically, one is that at the end of the day you go home, and the other one is at the end of the day you're living on the campus. I mean, the academics and the qualification are the same.
Yeah. So what is the age bracket for what CATS cater to?
Yeah, sure. So at CATS Boston, we're a senior prep school. So we teach the last 4 years of the high school diploma curriculum. So that's grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. So typically a 9th grader would be around the age of 14. And then of course that increases by 1 year, so okay. 14, 15, 16, 17. But we have had occasionally students who maybe they've already completed high school in their home country, but they want to come and have that high school experience, do grade 12 with us, and we can help progress them into a really good college or university, maybe even with a scholarship. And so these students might be a little bit older, 18, 19, 20. But the students must graduate before they turn 21 years old.
Ah, okay. There's an age limit.
Yes.
So, what are the advantages of traveling to the US for students, to explore possible university options, say for example after graduation?
Yeah, sure, really good question. So I think for me, one of the biggest differences between doing high school diploma in the Philippines or maybe in, Korea or somewhere else is the curriculum. So your classes will be the same, the qualification is the same, but the experience is very different. So our students go to guest lectures at Harvard and MIT. We have lots of colleges and universities that come and visit our students. Our students do community service. Our students compete in sport against other schools in the area. Our students also do things like visit the headquarters of iRobot in Boston or Google. And these are the kind of opportunities that you can only have when you're in the US. And ultimately, when the students apply to colleges and universities, they're basically telling a story. They're telling a story of how they've arrived at applying for this particular college and this particular subject interest that they have. So these experiences that you can only get by being here in the USA are what's going to help them with their college application. So I think it's very important.
So what support does CATS provide in this transition of like for students to for their progression to university?
So we have a team of 3 full-time college counselors who are all very experienced in the industry. 2 of them in fact have worked in admissions offices in universities, so they know what the universities are looking for. They help the students throughout the entire process from the moment they arrive on the campus. So they may be speaking to the students, finding out their interests, their strengths. Perhaps the student already knows what university they want to progress into, so making sure that they meet the requirements and the profile for that kind of university. But ultimately they're helping them choose electives, extracurricular activities, maybe clubs to be part of. They help them get their references from teachers. They help them with applications, interview preparation. They help them select universities. They arrange colleges coming in, and they help them apply for financial aid. So the vast majority of our students, when they progress, they do get scholarships, merit-based financial aid from the universities. Hello, my name is Ross Crease, and I work for CATS Academy Boston. So CATS Academy is a boarding school based just south of Boston, and we teach grades 9 through 12 to a predominantly international student population. So most of the students that are coming to CATS Academy from 30 different countries around the world are aged between 14 and 18, studying high school diploma from grades 9 through 12. So I think the advantage of CATS Academy is that we are an international school, so everything we do is focused towards international students, is focused towards improving their English as quickly as possible, and ultimately getting them into the very best university for them with a scholarship. I think one of the best advantages of doing your high school education in the USA is that you become immersed in the cultural experience. You can study the high school diploma curriculum in perhaps your home country or another country. However, the opportunities that you have available to you here in the USA are much bigger. So for instance, our students go to guest lectures at Harvard, at MIT. We have universities and colleges visiting our school all of the time. Our students do community service, and they get the real experience, which of course helps them when they're applying for their college and university applications.